Welcome back everyone, I'm Thijs from Varnish Software and this is VMOD in the Spotlight, a monthly video series in which we give an individual Varnish module a bit more attention. And today the spotlight is on VMOD Headerplus, but before we can continue, we should break down that name. VMOD is short for Varnish module. Header probably means request or response headers are involved, and the plus suffix means that it's an enterprise-only VMOD. So it's only available in Varnish Enterprise and it's in fact an advanced header manipulation VMOD. This means you can get header values, delete headers, create headers, modify headers, collapse headers, count headers, and much more. But experienced Varnish users will say, wait a minute, do you really need a VMOD to do that? And the honest and simplistic answer is no. Yes, in VCL, without the VMOD, you can assign a value to a header to set it. You can modify its value. You can extract the value and perform comparisons, and you can use the unset keyword to delete it. But have a look at the following example and see what you make of it. We're dealing with a cache control response header that has a public max age is 3600, stale if error is 100 value. What if we want to extract the stale if error value? Keep in mind that stale if error could be positioned anywhere in the header, so it could be located here. How do we do that? And the answer is, of course, as you'd expect, through VMOD Headerplus. Headerplus has an extensive API, and the functions that are available allow you to do header manipulation a lot simpler than in native VCL. It avoids having to use complicated regular expression substitution patterns and just makes it a lot simpler. Going back to our cache control example that has the stale if error attribute, we can use the following VCL to extract the value. We start by importing the Headerplus module through the import keyword, and then inside the VCL backend response subroutine, we initialize Headerplus with the init function. As a value to the first attribute, we use the bresp object, which means backend response. This means that Headerplus is made aware of the fact that the context here is response headers coming from the backend. And then when we perform headerplus.attr_get, we can get the attribute of a specific header. In this case, the cache control header, and the attribute we're interested in is stale if error. The value is assigned to a stale if error custom response header and then used throughout the VCL. When the stale if error custom response header is not empty, it means that the cache control header actually contained a stale if error attribute. And in that case, the value of that attribute is assigned to grace, meaning that grace mode could be 100 seconds in our example here. But if that value wouldn't be set, we default back to 11 seconds. Let's throw in another example, but instead of the backend context, let's take the client-side context. So we initialize Headerplus with Headerplus init and we add the request object. So that means we're looking at request headers. The objective in this example is to remove all the request headers that start with an X and then a dash. And we do this through Headerplus's delete_regex function. And as the name implies, it deletes headers whose name matches a regex pattern. So in this case, everything that starts with an X and a dash. But don't forget to call headerplus.write to commit those changes back to the request object. We can also turn it upside down and remove all the headers except the ones that are mentioned in keep regex. So that means everything that starts with an X and a dash is kept and the rest is thrown away. It's almost time to wrap this up, but I have one more example for you. Have a look at the following response header. It's the well-known cache control header and its value equals public smaxh equals 3600. Now imagine that we want to attach a max age attribute with a 500 second value. Here's how we would do that with Headerplus. It would be just a matter of calling the append function, mentioning the header where we want to append an attribute to, and then specify max age equals 500. There is so much more we can do with VMOD Headerplus, and we couldn't cover the full API in the examples. However, go to the documentation page in the link below to see the full API and to learn more. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be back next month and put the spotlight on yet another VMOD.